We got to get rid of the people who are trying to turn the Democratic Party into the Republican Party, with one exception. I'd be okay with the Democratic Party becoming the Republican Party so long as we had a party to replace it. And without a party to replace it, then we cannot stand by and watch the Democratic Party become the Republican Party. And what Marcos is saying in this tweet is that he's excited about rubbing it into the face of Republicans that the Democrats are now Republicans. We don't have time for that. Now, in terms of a third party, I already had that conversation. I've had it several times before. It's going to take more than a bunch of people. Listen, I'm not trying to throw salt or shade. I'm not trying to insult anyone who's trying to do this work on Twitter. But let's just be sober. It's going to take more than a bunch of angry people on Twitter to form a successful party outside of the Democratic Party. I said it this week. It's literally going to take the Progressive Caucus, influencers like AOC, influential politicians like AOC, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, Cori Bush, Bernie. It's going to take all of those people to leave the Democratic Party to set up a successful alternative party. Everything else is really smoke and mirrors, or just a futile attempt to express, not futile. It is a good expression of your anger, but it's a futile attempt to set up a third party. Now, that said, we should fight against this, whether there's another party that comes out of this or not, whether there's a third party or maybe just a second party and the Democrats ultimately join the Republicans. I don't know. But all I know is that when you start dog whistling about faith, family values, and national defense, then you are actually communicating that you want to take up the position that the Republicans have had in this country, where they have infringed on other people's faith. It's, again, I want to specify. Just like it's exactly like this show. You all listen to me, and I would say the great majority of my listeners are agnostic or atheists. You don't bother me about the fact that I love Jesus and I like going to church and I love singing gospel songs. And if y'all really looked hard enough, you might find videos of me singing gospel songs. Okay. Y'all don't bother me about my faith because I don't bother you about your faith. In fact, I understand that we have created a model in this little show of how we are going to be able to coexist in the future, no matter what you believe. I still kind of get kicks out of the fact that one of my biggest supporters and been riding with me since day one is a Satanist. And we always talk about faith and all those things, but I really appreciate that, because there's never going to be a day where we are going to be able to successfully purge everything out of this planet that is not like us. But when you say faith, family values, and national defense, you are sending a signal to the world that you want to take up the mantle of the Republican Party. And the mantle of the Republican Party is not freedom of religion. It's freedom of Christianity and the subjugation of everyone else. That is literally the position of Republicans in 2020. And it has been for some time. Same with family values. Listen, I've got the nuclear family. You could take me and probably stick me in the 50s, change my skin color so I wouldn't get lynched, and I would blend in with everybody. But y'all don't bother me about that, because I don't bother you about whatever your family looks like. I can't dictate to you your family values. You have to make that. And even I wrote it in my book, God is Not a Republican. Even if I was able to force my beliefs onto you through law, it still would not fit into the Christianity model, because you have to do that willingly. And so if you don't want to do that willingly, me using the force of law to compel you to be like me is not going to be anything that God would want, not according to our own Bible. And so it is patently unchristian what conservatives have been trying to do in this country since the founding of this country. It is unchristian to try to force our religious beliefs on people who do not want to abide by them. So that's why this tweet, it's more than a grudge match, and it's more than the fact that I really just can't stand this little scumbag who made all of his money off of clickbait and lying, and who is now, such an influential figure in the Democratic Party. It's more about the substance of what he's saying is so detrimental, not only to politics, but to humanity. We cannot take up that mindset. That mindset has to be broken. And what has to replace it is really what we have a microcosm of here. It is the ability to respect each other's space and salute each other, whether or not our lifestyles are similar or extremely different. It is immaterial. It doesn't matter to me if you disapprove of what I do and love and believe, just like it shouldn't matter to you if my opinion of you is immaterial. It just so happens that my opinion of you is that I want you to be happy and wherever you are. Life is too short for you to not love who you are. God, I didn't realize that this tweet really cut to the reason it bothers me is because it cuts to the core of my essential message, which is the only way we are all going to survive as a species is if we get rid of this exact thinking: faith, family values, and national defense. And you already know how I feel about American empire. The fact that we use our might, our military might, to rob other human beings, other people who love their kids as much as I love mine, who have dreams and aspirations, maybe not the same as mine, but they have their own, who have the unbelievably and infinitely complex gift of consciousness. They have that. And we use our military industrial complex and our empire and our military to bomb them out of existence without even batting an eye, as if I was hitting a fly with a fly swat. We drop bombs on them. So for anybody with this much influence in the Democratic Party to be forwarding this type of notion is anathema to me, and it is infuriating. Infuriating.